Hi, good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy Easter. How are you all doing? Um, I just quickly want to show you how to set up your Fibonacci retracement tool. We'll have a session this evening where we'll tackle Fibonacci in depth, right? But before the class, I want to show you how to just set up your Fibonacci retracement tool in this video. So just go over this video. It's going to be a very short and quick video. Just go over it and then try and set up your tool so that if I'm teaching, at least you have a fair idea of what I'm doing so that it doesn't eat into our time this evening so that we can do more this evening, right? Great. So by default, your Fibonacci retracement tool, when you look on your chart on the left plane, is the third icon. Once you put your cursor on it, you see Fibonacci retracement. Once you come and click and then drag, by default, this is what you see. This is how the tool looks like by default. But this is not what we want. This is not the levels we need. So we are going to edit it. So anytime you draw your Fib tool, your Fibonacci tool, once you click it, you're going to see this toolbar at the top, right? This setting sign, you click, and then this is going to pop up. When you see this pop up, now we are going to edit the settings here to suit our form or style of trading. So first things first, you can see trend line here. We're going to toggle it off. All these numbers and figures here, we're going to change some of them. We're going to maintain some of them, and then we're going to uncheck some of them, right? So first one, 0, we maintain it as 0. We just change the color to black here. And then the second one, which is 0.236, we're going to change it to negative 0.618 and change the color to black as well. The third one, we're going to toggle it off. The fourth one, 0.5, we're still going to maintain it at 0.5, but change the color to a lighter version of dark, maybe gray. And then we come to the fifth one, 61.8, we maintain it. We change the color to red. The sixth one, we come to 0.786. We maintain it, but change the color to red. The seventh one, we maintain it at 1. And then the eighth one, we change it to negative 0.27. And then we're also going to change this to white, a lighter version of white. And then here too, with the 1, we're going to change 1 to let's say red. Let's do a red, right? And then untoggle the rest. So we are going to untoggle this, we are going to untoggle this, and we are going to untoggle this, right? As soon as you do that, as you are clicking and changing the numbers and the colors, at the end of the day, you're going to have something like this, right? You can clearly see you're going to have your Fibonacci tool looking like this. But then we just want to make it very nice and simple so that it doesn't mess up our chart during our analysis. So you could clearly come up again here. You can see level lines. We're going to choose a thin one. By default, it's on thick. We want to choose a thin one, make the lines quite thin. Once we have that, we're going to come down to value levels. You see values. We're going to change it to what? Percentages. By default, if you leave it on values, you're going to see that it is at 1, 0.786, 0.618, 0.50, negative 0.27. We want it in percentage, right? I'll teach that in the class and explain why we want it in percentage levels. So we're going to change it to percentages. We're going to move the labels from left here to right. We're going to move the levels from the top here to middle. We're going to keep the font size at 12 and everything else. And with the background, we just want to reduce it a little bit, like just close to like nothing. Literally, we just want to be able to see the levels. So once you take it up, you can clearly see that what the colors you choose here become very visible. But the thing is, we want to keep it very minimum. The most important thing here is the levels or the lines we've been able to mark out. So you should have your Fibonacci tool looking something like this. Great. Right. When you are done, you just have to click OK. Then you should now come and be able to move it like this. Right. But once you are done, because you've done this, it's a one-time thing you do, right? You can come here and click Save Drawing Template As, and then maybe put your name here as probably Jessica, or maybe you can make it Kelly, and then you save, right? So when you save it, what you've literally done is the template is always there to always jump to, right? So let me just show you. Let me just apply default to drawing on template. This is how by default it was. And then we were able to change the settings to it and then save it as a template. So let's say by mistake, I clicked default and it came back like this. All I need to do is, because I've already saved it as a template, I'll just have to come here, Terry FX, click, and then it bounces off to, or could you Forex? And then it bounces off to my usual Fibonacci I use. So there's one thing about Fibonacci. In a downtrend, we draw from top to bottom. That is where now you see that the negative levels are below it, right? When you delete it and also you draw from bottom to top, you clearly see that what the extension levels are above it. That's a negative 27 and then a negative 61.8 are above, right? So in an uptrend like this, we use Fibonacci for trending market. In an uptrend like this, where market has made a retracement, right? And we are anticipating that what is going to move in the opposite direction or start moving in the opposite direction of about 20%. This is where now we take our Fib tool. And as I said, in an uptrend, we draw from bottom to top, right? And the whole idea is from the lowest point of the bottom here, or probably the turning point here, and then the turning point here. And then we anticipate what price coming into these zones for a buy to either this level before it drops or to this level before it drops, right? And for a downtrend as well, right? When market is exhibited itself in a downtrend, we came down, we pushed up, and then probably making a retracement about 20% in the opposite direction. I want to anticipate Fib for this move. What we do is what we use the highest point on this swing move to the downside, the lowest point of this swing move. And we want to anticipate how deep the retracement is going to go. So now we take our Fib tool, we plot it from what's the top, drag it all the way. Once you click the top, the line should just be at the tip or at the wick, and then drag it all the way down to what's the next low here, right? Once you drag it, it's going to look something like this, but you just pull it, extending it. So now this is the zone we are looking at for what? That Fibonacci retracement, the 50, 61.8, 78.6 here. It means that the next turning point we are anticipating in the market should occur in any of these zones or level, meaning that it should just come up. As it has come up, it should just come and play here. We get a candlestick confirmation, and then we sell all the way to this Fib extension level before turning again. Or it could possibly go down further, some further more, and then what come and turn here before probably going up to make another retracement, right? So this is just to let you know, this is just a short and brief illustration to let you know that you've set it well. So once you are drawing from bottom to top, your extension level should be at the top. And once you are drawing from top to bottom, your extension level should fall here. if your extension level is not looking like this, then probably you've not done something right in the video or setting it up. And this is where you should possibly what? Come back to your Fib tool, click settings, and go through the settings to make sure that everything here is the same. You have your first level set at 0, second level negative 61.8. The third here is toggled off. The fourth one 0.5. The fifth one is 0.618. That's the fifth one. The sixth one is what? 0.786. The seventh one is 1, and then the eighth one is negative 0.27. Right? I also take a screenshot of the retracement coordinates, this part of it. I'll take a screenshot and then share it in addition with this video so that it will guide you in setting it up. So we'll meet this evening. It's Easter Sunday here in Ghana. It's just about 8:33. I'm just about heading to church. I'll try as much as possible to connect with you guys this evening. I will try my possible best to connect with you this evening. In as much as I have a church program this evening, I'll just try and finish up quickly, rush back home, and then I'll connect with you. So please bear with me. I'm sure after today's class this evening, we'll have a proper layout schedule for next week, where we all know that, okay, our class is on maybe Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sunday, right? I just want to, I have other students I'm also teaching, not just you guys, but I don't want to bring them on board. Normally, what we do is when it comes to advanced class, we want to keep it as small as possible to make the students understand it very much, because anytime we have a group and advanced class session, normally we take about 3 to 4 days and then we are done with the course, right? But we've noticed that even with that, students keep coming back to us, asking so many questions, and uh, eh, all those questions, not as if we've not taught them, but we notice that it's information overload. That's why, if you realize, after I give you a video, I tell you to go watch, rewatch, understand, because I need it to take time to digest before I come back to add some further more information. So with Fibonacci, we are going to have about 2 sessions on Fibonacci. I can treat it in one, but I want to properly break it down into 2 separate sessions where you have a good and perfect understanding of it very well before we probably move on to trend lines, right? So we've treated market structure, support, and resistance. We are heading into trend Fibonacci. Once we are done with Fibonacci, we head on to trend lines. Literally, after we are done with trend lines, those are our 3 main strategies: support and resistance, Fibonacci, trend lines. And I'm going to try and show you how we incorporate all together into what we call confluence trading, where a trend line zone will align with a Fibonacci zone and will also be a previous which will also align with what a previous resistance level we have extended. So you clearly see that we have 3 zones telling or indicating that a sell is imminent. And those are what we call high probability setup, because we have more things indicating, or more of our strategies all aligning in a zone to tell us the market is going to make a turn from here. And most of the time, those are the setups used to flip accounts and all that. But regardless of that fact, we still what? Trade support and resistance, paying it up with candlestick. Fibonacci, paying it up with candlestick. Trend lines, paying it up with candlesticks, right? But there are times in the market where all those things align, right? And we as traders, we take advantage of it. We'll go much into it. We'll have days where I'll just, teach you risk management on the market, how to apply proper risk management, how to always anticipate, oh, okay, when I enter this trade and I'm wrong, I stand a chance of losing $100. I stand a chance of losing $1,000. Okay, I'm about to enter a trade. I want to be able to lose just $50 of my capital, right? But I also show you how you can also create a good risk management tailored to your personality and your psychology, and then make insane profits off the market. So that'll be all for today. Thank you so much, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy Easter. Christ has risen. Enjoy your day. And then I'm going to catch you later this evening. Bye-bye.